Welcome back to the ECL online training series and lesson 14, Record and Datasets. Now before you can work on any data entity on the HPCC cluster, three important steps must be followed. Number one, spray, which is the process of getting the data from the landing zone to the cluster. Number two, define that data using a record structure that we're going to introduce in this lesson. And number three, locate or identify the file on the cluster using a dataset statement. To define the data that you've sprayed, we start with the record structure. The record structure starts with a record keyword, followed by field definitions, and each field is terminated with a semicolon, and then the record structure itself is terminated with the end statement. A record structure defines the field layout of a data set, record set, index, or table. The keywords record and end may be replaced with the open and close curly braces, and the semicolon field delimiters may be replaced with commas. This is good for inline record structures where desired. Here's an example of a basic record structure. Note that each field contains a value type and field name. There are many other types of record structures that we will discuss in this course. In this record structure, layout_company, our first field is called SIC_code, defined as an unsigned. Since the unsigned has no length following the unsigned keyword, the unsigned is assumed to be an 8-byte unsigned integer. All of the other fields in this record structure have specific strings and lengths of those strings.
Also shown to the right is the exact same record structure, but using the inline syntax of the curly braces and fields separated by commas.
After the data has been defined, it is now time to locate and identify the logical file. We use the dataset statement to do this. Dataset introduces a new data file into the system with the specified record definition layout. You can define fixed length records, which are Thor or flat, variable length records, which are CSV, and XML file types. You can also use a pipe command to invoke a third-party conversion program.
And before we leave this slide, there is a new file type that's been added as of version 5, a JSON dataset. So in addition to XML, we now have a JSON file type that is also supported in ECL.
Putting it all together, the dataset locates the file and type by name and references the record structure that defines it, as shown here. The dataset statement identifies a file in the cluster called class::company_list. The record structure, of course, is layout_company, defined above, and the file type is fixed length or Thor. One more note regarding dataset. For files in memory, dataset introduces a new table into the system with the specified record definition layout. This form allows you to treat an inline set of data as a data file. Now, as shown below, we have a record structure called namesRec, and using a string 20 for first name and a string 20 for last name, the dataset statement actually has, surrounded in curly braces, individual, quote, records, and each field in the record structure is defined and separated by commas. So we have John Jones and Jane Smith. This concludes this lesson. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next lesson, lesson 15, where we talk about more ECL scoping. Thank you.